What's good, y'all? It's your guy Bendu. As a lot of you know by now, the Democrats have, they won their races in Georgia, and Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff will become, the newest additions to the Senate. And yeah, so yay, we flipped Georgia blue. Good job, Stacey Abrams. Even though you couldn't even win your own fucking election, but um, so basically, the way it's going to work for the next couple of years is that basically Republicans are going to, not vote for anything Democratic unless it's like austerity shit and anything the Democrats try to pass that will, help people a little bit. Republicans are going to vote against, so it's going to take Kamala Harris to break the tie in the Senate. So it's not like they have, well, not we, because I'm not a fucking Democrat. I don't know my natural habit, but yeah, they basically Kamala Harris is more than likely going to have to break the tie in the Senate a lot. And of course, we have the House now. I keep saying we. I don't know why. They have the House. Oh my God, man. Sorry, guys. I'm starting to take that corporate money. That corporate money starting to get to me. Cenk Uygur paid me off to say we. It's like, nah. But, the Democrats have the House, but as we know, they lost seats under the amazing leadership of Nancy Pelosi. But, yeah, so basically, it's a lot of shit going on, and honestly, I'm not looking forward to this at all. I was actually asked by a coworker, not asked, but the conversation about the Senate races came up and everything. And so I'm not expecting anything from this. Like I told my coworker I wasn't expecting much. That was just to be, nice. But I'm not expecting anything from this. In fact, I'm expecting nothing but horribleness from this because we've been down this road before. As the Guardian, this Guardian article, the Guardian likes to pretend they actually push back on the Democratic Party when they fucking don't. But yeah, so the Guardian writes this article: Democrats are poised to control the House, Senate. They have no excuses anymore. This is actually Bhaskar Sankara. Now I'm working on a video. He recently did Crystal Kyle and Friends, and you know he said a lot of bullshit in there. I'm not even going to fraud. He said a lot of bullshit in there. A lot of shit I didn't disagree. I think his heart's in the right place, but it's still that mindset of trying to overtake the Democratic Party, which is not going to fucking happen. And it's like I'm not getting sheep herded in there, and I want to spread the message about not allowing people to sheep herd, to get sheep herded into the Democratic Party. So if that means I have to shit on people like, Bhaskar or just Kyle Kalinske, Crystal Ball, people that I like, but it's like, look, Facts Blumenthal said it the best. Like, this is a time for truth. Like, this is not a time for bullshit. And like, we are coming down. It's coming to a head. Shit is coming to a head, and it's like we're either going to go the route of fucking Brazil, or we're going to do better. So we cannot allow this sheep herding into the Democratic Party. We cannot allow. This is not a time for lies right now. This is a time for truth. And the truth is that anything progressive that you're trying to get done in the Democratic Party, anything positive, not even just progressive, anything positive that you're trying to get done in this country, you're not going to get it done through the Democratic Party. And Matt Stoller was recently on Jimmy Dore's show. He brought up some excellent points just about how the left, a lot of people on the left have this like, utopian mindset of trying to achieve shit. Whereas we need to have like a legislative minded, like we need to get into the nitty gritty where most people just want the fantastical part. I think that was a little slight to Jimmy, but on some aspects, there's some merit to what he said, but also it's like, bro, we can't like, I understand that, Republicans come from the background of running businesses, but I feel like that's the problem with the Republican Party. They've gotten so used to being pro business that they've went and become pro corporation, and they're fascists now. Like literally, they're like what they're the corporate fascists. It's corporatism. That's what the Republican Party is, and that's what the Democratic Party is now as well. So it's like the failure to admit that, the failure to acknowledge the fact that the Democratic Party is beyond saving and it needs to be allowed to die. And if it doesn't die, it needs to be fucking killed, brutally murdered. And if you can't see that, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to speak against you. I'm going to have to shit on you to make other people understand that, to make, the people that aren't informed yet, understand that. So, and this is the 111th Congress. So you guys are probably asking me why I'm bringing this up. Well, this is the Congress that came into office, immediately, well, during when Obama was inaugurated. So they had power from January 3rd, 2009 until January 3rd, 2011. So what's so important about this? Well, contrary to popular belief, the Democrats had the Senate. They had the Senate. They like to obfuscate like they didn't. They had the Senate. Because two of the independents were caucusing. I believe Bernie Sanders and somebody else. I forget what the guy's name is. But they had the Senate. And they had the House. And they had the White House, the presidency. So why is that so important? I say that it's important because the Democrats, one of the excuses they like to make for Barack Obama is that, oh, he couldn't get anything done because he didn't have the House and the Senate. Barack Obama had the House and the Senate for like about literally the first 2 years of his first term. And literally the only thing he was able to put through was a Republican healthcare plan. The only thing he was able to put through was a right-wing healthcare plan after he campaigned on single-payer universal healthcare, Medicare for all, after he campaigned on it. But it's not even just healthcare that they failed on. Senator Dodd, restoring Glass-Steagall would be difficult. So to those of you that don't know, Glass-Steagall is a 1930s, basically a Great Depression era policy that separated commercial banks from like hedge fund people and shit like that. And basically Bill Clinton repealed that in the 90s. So, United States Senate Banking Committee Chairman Christopher Dodd said on Thursday it would be pretty difficult to reinstate 1930s era Glass-Steagall limits on banking as proposed in two bills in Congress. His remarks suggested an uphill climb ahead for legislation filed in both the Senate and the House of Representatives on Wednesday that would strictly separate commercial banking, investment banking, and insurance. The bills reflect a desire by some lawmakers to take a more structural approach to overhauling financial regulation than the Obama administration or Democratic leaders in Congress have proposed in the years since 2008's banking crisis. So basically what that means is that Barack Obama didn't want to pass this because, as we know, he was on he was on a take with the big banks. We know that Citigroup picked Barack Obama's fucking cabinet. And we also know that like one of the first things Barack Obama did when he got out of office went to Wall Street and gave speeches where he made like $1.5 million. And Tucker Carlson was at a lot of those, speeches too. He got paid handsomely as well. So Tucker Carlson likes to play this fucking fake ass populist and shit. Don't buy that shit. I want to see these institutions go back to their core businesses as well. Dodd, a moderate Democrat, told reporters after a meeting of his panel where members voted to approve the renomination of Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke. But Dodd added, I think you'd have a hard time repealing Graham Leach Bliley on this point. Some of the world's largest financial firms, such as Goldman Sachs or Citigroup, could be broken up under the two bills introduced on Wednesday. One with the backing of former Republican presidential John McCain. So you actually had a fucking GOP member behind this. Both would restore 1933's Glass-Steagall laws, barring large banks from affiliating with securities firms and engaging in the insurance business. Those limits were largely repealed by 1999's Graham-Leach-Bliley Act during a deregulatory high watermark. That means a lot of deregulation was going on during that time period, and Bill Clinton was the president then. Senator McCain and Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell introduced the Senate bill, while the House version was offered by 6 lawmakers, including Representative Maurice Hinkie. The bills came as Congress debates a sweeping overhaul of financial regulation more than a year after a banking and capital market crisis rocked economies worldwide. So basically, The big banks ran, as you guys know, the big banks ran the economy into the fucking ground. And they couldn't even respond, in part by putting checks on them because Barack Obama was on the take. I believe it was I forget who the guy was in Obama's admin, but he said the banks are just too large, simply too large to fail. So basically, what he's saying is that like the banks set up this Ponzi scheme to where it's like a parasitical symbiotic relationship between themselves, the taxpayers, and the government by basically saying, all right, look, yeah, we're a junkie gambling maniac. But guess what? You're going to cover our ass every single time because if you don't, we're so large that if you don't bail us out, we're willing to basically crash the economy to save our own asses and for you to bail us out of our debts. That's literally what that means. So, yeah, it's literally insane. I would recommend checking out The Big Short because that talks about how like a lot of these banks. So it was on every level. So you would have these bankers, these low level bankers that would give people mortgages and loans and shit they knew they couldn't pay back. And once the bank that signed that mortgage found out, they would wrap all these shitty ass fucking mortgages up in like something called CDOs and shit like that, and basically like sell it to different banks. And it was basically them playing hot potato with that shit until it got into the right person's hands and it exploded. But literally, like everybody had it, so it exploded in everybody's fucking house, and it got to the point where they had to get bailed out by the government, and Obama did it because he was in their pocket. So. Yes, I would definitely recommend checking out The Big Short. It's an Adam McKay film. Ryan Gosling's in it. Steve Carell. Who else is in it? Christian Bale's in it. Margot Robbie's in it. Her fine ass is in it. Margot Robbie is so hot, dog. She's one of the hottest women on the planet. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking that joint out. It's a good watch to kind of get a grasp and understand exactly, the financial aspects of the financial crisis. Brad Pitt's in it as well too. I'm just throwing actors in. I'm a film junkie. If any of you guys are cinephiles, hop in the comment section and talk to me. But yeah, so that's complete bullshit. These banks like rob the people of their lives. A lot of people lost their homes during the housing market crisis. A lot of people suffered during the Great Recession, and I'm going to be talking about housing housing as well coming up. The bills came as Congress debates. I think the idea of encouraging or incentivizing institutions to get back to their principal functions, particularly banks being banks, is in everyone's interest. My view is it's probably pretty difficult to just talk about a flat repeal of that. Analysis were skeptical about the Cantwell. Yeah, of course they're going to be skeptical because their donors aren't going to like that. So that's one thing. So they couldn't get financial reform going. They couldn't get banking reform. Basically, they couldn't break up the banks because it was going to be difficult. So you have the White House, the House, and the Senate, and you can't do this. Okay, yeah, fuck you. Barack Obama signs bill to extend Bush era tax cuts for more years. President Obama signed into law the most significant tax bill in nearly a decade Friday, a day after overwhelming liberal resistance in Congress to continue for two more years tax breaks enacted under President George W. Bush and to provide a fresh federal boost for the tepid economic recovery. In remarks before signing the bill, Obama called it a substantial victory for middle-class families across the country. He added, "They're the ones hardest hit by the recession we've endured. They're the ones who need relief now." Obama described the bill as a package of tax relief that will protect the middle class, that will grow our economy, and will create jobs for the American people. The package brokered by Obama and Republican leaders in the wake of the November elections angered many Democrats who have long argued that the Bush tax cuts were skewed to benefit the wealthy. But their last-minute campaign to scale back the bill's benefits for taxpayers at the highest income levels failed, and the House measure passed 277 to 148, with 112 Democrats and 36 Republicans voting no. That's fucking. So again, this is Barack Obama as well. They're passing Bush era tax cuts. They have the House, the Senate, and the White House. Here's another one. Groups fight to push disclosure back on the Senate floor face resistance. Public Citizen President Robert Weissman turned and faced the U.S. Capitol building this morning. Whose side are you on? He shouted at the massive building. Weissman's nonprofit organization, along with the leaders of 5 others, met in a grassy area outside the Capitol to advocate that a stripped down version of the Disclose Act be put back on the Senate floor during the 111th Congress's lame duck session. So this is when they lost. They got wiped out because they were passing all these bullshit policies and weren't doing anything except what the Republicans wanted to do. And this was could have been put on the Senate floor by the Senate Majority Leader at the time, who was Harry Reid. So Harry Reid likes to talk about aliens. The only thing alien to Harry Reid is him actually giving a fuck about holding people like himself accountable when it comes to calling out their fucking corruption. That's the only thing alien about fucking Harry Reid. So while he's sitting there talking to you about fucking aliens and shit, ask him why the fuck he couldn't pass this bill so we can take the first steps to getting money out of politics. And I guarantee you his answer is going to be like pretty down. It's going to be pretty earthly when you think about it, because it's going to be about money that he takes from rich ass fucking donors and corporations and shit. Urgency is needed if disclosure rules are going to be passed. Common Cause President Bob Edgar said, if they don't pass it in lame duck session, it isn't likely it will happen, he said. Think of double and maybe quadruple the amount of outside spending in the 2012 presidential campaign. And I remember that. That was like one of the biggest like fundraising time. Like a lot of money went through that fucking presidential campaign. That's when Obama beat Romney that year. But what exactly does stripped down mean? These nonprofit organizations say they want to leave specifics up to Congress and that they're mainly focused on the requirements that involve campaign finance disclosure. Craig Holman, Public Citizens legislative representative, said that they aren't focusing on some of the bill's current provisions, such as foreign-related contributions. Public Citizen is focusing on requirements to report all contributors who fund political activities by established organizations, which include shadowy 501c nonprofit groups. The group is also calling for the legislation to require that media advertisements list the names of a sponsoring organization's top donors. The Center for Competitive Politics, a nonpartisan group that fights for free speech rights, say the attempts for reform are rushed, misunderstood, and misguided. Jeff Patch, the Center for Competitive Politics spokesman, contends that the new stripped-down version should have to go through the committee process before it hits the floor of the U.S. Senate again. Of course he would say that. There are no legislative findings to show that an independent donation to a 501c group has any potential to corrupt the candidate. There is no okay. There is no emergency right now, he said. Work on a bill in the next Congress rather than pushing something through that's already been substantially rejected. And the thing is, though, like the next fucking Congress isn't going to do it because they're all fucking corrupt. That's why they're trying to rush it through. That's the point of trying to rush it through. So, again, this is something that would have helped with campaign financing and getting money out of politics. That's something that the Democratic Party doesn't want. Their fucking house leader, to speak, Pelosi, Shorty has been on the take for like since 2003, since she became speaker, since forever. So she's known as one of the best top fundraisers in the party. I remember when Shahid Buttar was running against her, there was this article that came out that basically said like if she was to lose to him, like all of the fucking the donors, like majority, a lot of them were going to pull out. So Pelosi's going to beat her until she's ready to step down or she fucking dies. House to renew the Patriot Act. This is February 25th, 2010. Senate abandons climate effort, dealing blow to president. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid abandoned efforts to reduce carbon emissions from the nation's power plants yesterday, marking the first major legislative setback for President Obama, who entered office vowing to address climate change. By the way, this is when the BP oil spill was going on. So there was a big conversation going on about climate change, basically, and the climate. And literally, this is what the Democratic Party is doing. The Democratic Party who supposedly cares about the climate. Now, no, as you guys know, I've brought up, and I'm going to talk about it soon. I'm still doing my research on it. Also, by the way, if you guys are, if any of my followers are into climate like that, send me stuff because look, I watched Planet of the Humans and that really made me look at the Green New Deal and things like that differently. I was already, AOC, I already knew her shit was bullshit. Her bill was just like corporate give out to people like Elon Musk and fucking Jeff Bezos and shit and all these green big tech billionaires and shit. But like Planet of the Humans drove that point home about the overall movement and exposing how like a lot of these climate people are taking all this fucking corporate money. So please, like, send me stuff because I'm researching and I literally, when it comes to climate, I do not know where to start. So, kind of give me a helping hand. Again, this channel is for me to learn from y'all as well. And for me to kind of, kick the shit I know to y'all. Like, I'm not like a fucking political expert. I'm like, I say all the time, I'm fairly new. So again, just a quick, just sidebar, send me shit about the climate. But I know the Democratic Party is full of shit when it comes to the climate because of shit like this. Schumer's public option amendment defeated. Again, this is, what year is this? This is September 29th, 2009. And we all know Barack Obama didn't want the public option. We all know that. Now, this is HR 5510, aiding those facing foreclosure act of 2010. So, you know how those over 6 million, that over 6 million families got kicked out of their houses under President Obama. Well, they actually did a bill to help people facing foreclosure. Democrats voted against it. 5 Democrats voted no against it to even bring it up for a vote on the floor. Now, I don't know if all these senators are still in office, but these are the ones that said no, that voted no. So all of those 6 million families, it could have been avoided for them to, they could have gotten some assistance, basically. It might not necessarily have been avoided, but they could have helped. And these Democrats voted no, and it failed to even get brought to the fucking House floor for a vote. So again, this right here does not fucking matter. This does not matter because the Democrats are the party of austerity along with the Republican Party. And it's like, Ossoff already told you what it is with him. He's not for Medicare for all. He's not for green. He's not for anything that most of the Democratic Party is for. 86% of the party is for Medicare for all. Warnock is sitting here talking about affordable health care. So what that means is he's going to pray to Jesus. And, if you break your arm, just pray to Jesus and hopefully it'll heal. That's Warnock's healthcare plan for you, is Jesus, which is basically that shit's not fucking real. He doesn't have a healthcare plan for you. So he's going to tell you to pray to some shit that's not real. That's what Warnock's going to tell you. So again, I'm not, I'll do another segment on shitting on a religion on another time. I do love Christians though. Like I'm not atheist. You feel me? I'm not an atheist. I'm agnostic. I've just been jaded by Christianity recently. But back to the conversation at hand. The Democratic Party, man, look, this party is not for the people. This party is against the people. They've been against the people since Jimmy Carter. And even when FDR was passing his basically socialist policies back during the Great Depression, that, by the way, pulled us out of the Great Depression. So capitalism put us into the Great Depression. Socialism pulled us out. But and that's the thing. What people don't realize is that we were operating on more of a blended economy. In my mind, that is what we need to get back to. We need to be taking the best ideas of communism. We need to be taking the best ideas of socialism. We need to be taking the best ideas of did I say capitalism as well? I think I said communism. I just got off work. I'm tired as hell. I think capitalism, communism, and socialism. We should be taking the ideas, the best of the best ideas, and basically forming, doing a blended economy. That's literally what a lot of these countries are doing now. And I think, socialism will keep capitalism in check, just like capitalism will keep the downsides of socialism in check, and vice versa with communism and everything else. So I think we should be getting back to more of a blended economy. But even then, FDR was doing it to save capitalism. That's why he did it. He basically went to the richest people in the country and said, hey, you have to give them something, or this is going to be France. This is going to go the way of the French Revolution. You need to give them something. When they didn't, he basically said, all right, fuck you, I'll do it myself. and he did it by force. So FDR is not the hero people prop him up to be. Um, yeah, a lot of black people didn't see didn't see those benefits. And honestly, to be quite frank, a lot of the workers activists back then were fucking racist as shit. That's something they don't like to tell you as well. Like, look, I fuck with a lot. Obviously I know I fuck with Graham Elwood. I fuck with a lot of these people that talk about somebody like Eugene Debs and everything, but like I've heard some sketchy shit about Eugene Debs, about this nigga being racist. So, as a black man, like I just can't, I can't sit aside. That's like, motherfuckers trying to tell me that like Harry Truman was this bastion of truth, and that that nigga was racist as shit. He was in the fucking Klan. So it's like we gotta be real about all these historical figures. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and tear everybody down, based upon the product of their time, but we have to be real. The reason why black people didn't see a lot of those fucking benefits that the white people got during that time period is because of racist ass people within those labor movement parties back then. I'm not saying all of them were racist, but like a lot of them were. Not a lot. See, and I can't say a lot because we don't know. We weren't there back then, but there were people back then that was racist that blocked a lot of us from getting the shit that we need, black people. So, and it's still going on today. The Democrats, if you think Joe Biden's not a fucking, like, Joe Biden has done more racist shit to black people than Donald Trump has. Joe Biden signed the crime bill. Fuck that nigga. So yeah, Democrats went back to Senate. Oh shit, breaking news. Joe Biden forms the Office of Gaslighting Bullshit to obfuscate for why the Democrats won't get anything done for the next 4 years. Chairwoman to be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Co-chair, Ilhan Omar. Wow. I'm reading Ro Khanna, Ilhan Omar, and Ayanna Pressley, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, and the rest of the Progressive Caucus to join the committee in the office? Wow. Who knew that, the thing that AOC and Joe Biden would have in common is that they're fucking both gaslighting bullshitters. That's the Democratic Party for you, though. So I'm going to go ahead and close that there. Let me know what you guys think about the Democrats winning. I don't get a lot of people who talk about the Democratic Party in a positive light, but if there are still some of you out there, those progressives that believe the Democratic Party can be taken over, talk to me. Let's do an honest conversation about this, guys. And look, no coming at each other down there. I've been saying it's been pretty peaceful down in the comments. You guys do good at that. So again, this is a channel where everybody's welcome to express their ideas, even ideas we may not agree with. However, if you're saying some bullshit though, then we got to get you the fuck out of here. So it's going to be loving getting you the fuck out of here, but we still got to get you the fuck out of here all the same. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I know this video's been all over the place. It took me a whole hour to get home from work. Then work was stressful as hell. I'm just tired as hell. But I'm here making these videos for y'all, man, because I love talking politics with y'all. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.